Hello, guys, and welcome to another new episode of podcast series. Today, we have with us our co-host Prachi Goel and our guest Samantha Bahl. So, Samantha is basically co-founder of Nirvi For Women, who deals with women's wellness. Specifically, I'm talking about so trying to into a phase of trying to conceive to the child getting up to 2 years old. So, anything and everything in terms of emotional health, well-being, entire consultation, the workshop in terms of assistance. Nirvi does all of it, and I think I will just ask Samantha to jump in and like give her own introduction in few words. And please bear with me if I miss anything or jumbled a bit with this. So yeah, Sam.
Sure. So thank you for the introduction and thank you for having me on your podcast today, Vaibhav and Raji. As you mentioned, Nirvi caters to women's wellness in a very, very vulnerable phase of their lives. This very vulnerable phase is essentially from the day that they decide that they want to start a family and they start the conception process, going all the way up to 2 years postpartum. From the day a baby is conceived up to 2 years of age is known as the first 1,000 days of a baby's life. It's a term the World Health Organization coined because the mental development and the cognitive development in the baby in that first 1,000 days is unparalleled. That level of development does not happen at any other age or stage in your life, right? And unfortunately, what happens is that the primary caregiver, which is the mother, is, traditionally, culturally, in most countries across the world, is ending up doing a lot of the work in supporting the baby to achieve those various milestones. And while the world is ready to hold the baby, nobody is really supporting the mother. So that's when we stepped in because we realized that while this 1,000 day journey is extremely crucial to, better outcomes for all children and all babies, at the same time, mothers need to be supported, mothers to be need to be supported in this particular journey. That's where the thought of Nirvi emerged. We focus on a few key areas of wellness for women in this space, and that's essentially a very holistic view. We focus on mental, what we like to call mental, emotional, and physical health. Very often, women in this stage are either prioritizing, there's a lot of conversation around physical health, eating right, etc., but there's not much conversation around the mental and emotional health aspects as well. So, what we do at Nirvi is essentially offer not just a curated journey where we know what her next requirement is going to be, and we create, knowledge based modules, workshops, bite sized videos, etc. around those journeys. We plug in particular consultations that she might require in that journey. But we also create very supportive communities. And these communities are expert to peer and peer to peer, whereby any question, it's a safe space to ask any question she might have. It's a safe space for her to express any emotion she might be feeling. And just that actually really helps her a lot in getting through this journey for the first 1,000 days of her baby's life.
Okay. So, Sam, thank you so much for letting us know about Nirvi for Women. But I would like to understand how you have started this company. Like, how you have thought about this community, that you are going to create this community to help the mom to be, or maybe the moms who are perceiving the baby. So, how exactly you have came up with this idea?
Got it. So, Prachi, I am a mother of two myself. And I think for me, the driving factor of starting this community or starting some form of support for expecting to postpartum moms came from the fact that I had really difficult journeys. I was working full time. I didn't have a lot of support. I was in a nuclear family. It was primarily my husband and I. And, I realized that in the whole process, my own wellness is really the only thing that was suffering, right? I was prioritizing work, I was prioritizing my first child, I was prioritizing home and everything else except my own wellness. And therefore, when I was trying to conceive my second baby, I had a lot of medical complications, I had a lot of issues, and that whole journey was really, really traumatic. And, at that point, I realized that maybe it is a lot of this is happening because I've just ignored myself for quite long. And I realized that that sentiment resonated with a lot of my colleagues also. People, all my female colleagues who were in senior positions and developing a lot of wellness related issues after childbirth or even during pregnancy. Which was just a result of not being consistent in taking care of themselves. And therefore, the thought was, how do you bring more awareness to this journey? The initial starting thought was just that let's talk about it more. Let's have more conversations about the fact that your prenatal to postpartum health is a very different journey, in itself. It's not similar to other stages of life because all your focus is going into your baby or the new life, right? So that was really the thought, that how can we create a supportive, safe space for women to come forward and talk about not just the positive aspects of delivering, positive aspects of family planning, but also the not so positive aspects, right? They might be going through a plethora of emotions which they are unable to discuss with anyone else. That was the thought of creating the community. And honestly, the way we've been able to create a participative community is because we are a safe space. There is no judgment whatsoever. We do kind of, we will help a mom weigh the pros and cons. We have absolutely fantastic experts, who are also all mothers themselves. So they're kind of handpicked. They come from within the community. They've approached us as women who want to be part of the community and then kind of emerge as people who are helping other people on the community. So, motherhood by nature or trying to become a mother can be quite an isolating experience because nobody else really understands it except for another mother or someone who is trying to become a mother. So in that way, the community becomes really participative because we're discussing a lot of, we are discussing a pain which only another woman in that same situation can understand. So there's a lot of resonance, there's a lot of conversation, and that's why the community becomes more and more participative actually.
Okay. So Sam, I think you just mentioned that, this entire process is very isolating process, and there is like, women feel very lonely in this entire process. Maybe she needs some sort of support, and just like you mentioned, in a nuclear family where there is just husband and wife, and like, no one to support. So how do you see, your partner, and what kind of support do you expect from, that would be helpful for a woman? And what is the problem in the society about, like, do people talk about this? Do people don't talk about this? What is the issue here?
Yeah. So very, very valid question. I think a lot of what we see on the community, especially, is that my partner doesn't understand this, right? Um, Partner doesn't understand it because of a few reasons. Number one, it's a period of unparalleled change in a woman's body, mind, like we say, physical, mental, and emotional health. There are a lot of hormonal changes, right? Which do kind of at times lead to things like anxiety. It does lead to things like, mild depressions. It leads to, it leads to what is perceived as a change in personality, but is actually things like anxiety and depression surfacing in very small, ways. And so one is that, right? So educating first the woman so that she can go on to educate her partner and say that, this is happening, it's legitimate, it happens to everybody, or it happens to a lot of people on this journey. That's the first thing that we do in order for women to be able to involve their partners more. That how do you communicate with your partner, right? Here are the things that are going now. What happens is, agar aapko khud hi nahi pata hai, if you don't know yourself what's going on with you, you won't be able to communicate it, right?
Yeah.
The second thing we do is that we try and tell women a lot that look, there is no guilt to this. There's no shame to it, right? And that is why there's no guilt to feeling that, okay, I can't deal or I can't cope or this is what is happening with me and I need support here. Very often, society has this whole thing of saying that, oh, you're a superwoman and you should be able to manage anything. But honestly, it creates a lot of pressure on the mom. And every time she speaks up or she feels that, okay, something is not going right and she needs support, she feels like a failure. So the second thing we do actually, apart from telling them what's going on with themselves, is actually telling them that if they are feeling a certain way, there is no shame, there is no guilt to it, and they need to communicate it, right? We do a lot of things in terms of sharing circles, like these, which are just a bunch of moms coming together to talk about how they're feeling, and therefore it becomes, like I mentioned, a very safe non-judgmental space to actually analyze कि मेरे साथ ये हो रहा है और मैं इस तरह से अपने partner को बता सकती हूँ. The third thing that we do is we also do some partner sessions. Like let's say we are doing a session on lactation, we are doing a session on Garb Sanskar. We do try and involve partners there, right? Because typically these sessions, while they are important for the baby or the baby to be born or the new baby, they're equally important for the partner. And all our experts are trained in a manner that they're also able to let the partner know that, this is what's coming up.
Yeah.
right? So, for instance, when we do sessions on baby sleep, right, we have workshops around baby sleep and making that process and journey better. We do often, very often, get partners, right? Because till now they are not even aware, right? So our first goal is awareness, our second goal is communication, and our third goal is then involving the partner. Culturally, it has not been very acceptable to talk about it and to kind of ask for support. But I think the amazing thing is that it's changing. There are some fantastic statistics about how much more involved partners are as fathers than they were maybe 20 years ago. So it's
Mhm.
definitely changing, and we are definitely doing our bit to see how women can communicate better to involve their partners.
Yeah.
As a working professional, I have one question now. There is a phase where, let's say, if I take my example, I am a working person, and now, like, if I think about this, I will be having so many thoughts across it, ki whether I will be able to manage the things or not. If I talk about different stages, first of all, as a working professional, whether I would really like to conceive it or not, right? And very next, like when I will be called as mama to be. So whether I will be able to accept with this phase or not. And then
Yeah.
obviously, like, if whether it is gonna create the hindrance to my career. So I would like to understand from you that how exactly you support the women for this, how you make them understand, okay, okay, this is not the problem, how both the things can be managed simultaneously. So can you please throw some lights on this?
Yeah, again, great question, Prachi. So, when we were doing our research to try and understand where Nirvi should lie, should it be focused on wellness? Should it be focused on mental wellness? Should it be only focused on corporate return to work kind of programs, right? We chose this niche because we realized this is a clear gap. When a mother does not feel supported, okay, when the narrative around her or the conversation around her is that beta aap chhod do, it doesn't matter if you leave your job, she will leave her job, right? She
And
will say it's okay.
that is what the most of the people give the suggestion, ki better you leave the job for 9 months maybe or 10 months, and then after that you can
Yeah,
think about resuming. But
correct,
resuming is not that easy.
correct. So, what we try and do essentially is that, firstly, uh, again, great point on, someone maybe not even wanting to go down that journey. So that's another part of journey that we get, that I don't want to. So why should I think about all of this? Because I feel it's too much trouble. And that's a clear area that we want to also go into, where we are just addressing the fact that maybe some women don't want to have a baby, and how do we support mental health and emotional health for them, right? Because in a way it's connected. It's just saying, I don't want to be a parent. We have started having a lot of corporate conversations, right? Where we are also trying to understand that in spite of absolutely fantastic maternity policies, right? 6 months of leave, additional leave available if your manager agrees, creches, etc., which are close to site, right? Daycares which are close to site. Some organizations offer just sick days which you can take as per your convenience. Baby, care for baby kind of days. Parental leave in general is going through a lot of positive changes, right? But even then, we find that mothers are reluctant, okay? And that is because of what I mentioned. There's a very strong narrative that says that, around you, that says that, okay, no, you don't go back to work and you see how it is, right? Now, what happens in such a situation, right, Prachi, is that the organization has kind of waited for you for 6 months to come back and resume your role. They will probably wait for you another 2 or 3 months. But beyond that, it's really leaving people in the lurch, right? And that is something that we try and educate all the moms on our platform also, that look, you might have this much maternity leave, you might have had this conversation. But if it is not something that is sustainable, um, you know, uh, rather than leaving your job, here are a few other options you can explore. We do a lot of mindset coaching with a therapist, where, with various therapists actually, where we try and understand what is it that is holding the mother back, right? What is it that is holding the mom to be back and saying that, okay, no, I'll give this up? Because let's also remember that there is a lot of regret, you know, once they leave it, and once they leave their roles, and when they try and go back and they find that, okay, they're not able to find something of their liking or whatever, there's also a lot of regret in there, right? So our goal is to help them via mindset coaching and sessions done, goal setting sessions done with therapists to just understand that, okay, how can I look at my life holistically and then make a decision as to whether I really need to leave, or making certain tweaks to the way I do my job or I run my daily routine can allow me to continue. So that is how we actually approach it. We, like I mentioned, we're also actively approaching corporates to see what else. And this whole area of wellness support and feeling supported in order to make that transition back is a huge one.
Actually, I'm getting one more question before Vaibhav asks his question. There is another pressure what I have seen. Ki, okay, during this period, they ask to, okay, you can leave the job and you can just take some rest with the baby and everything is fine. But
Yeah,
sometimes the pressure comes after 2 years, once the baby is grown up and his that phase is
yeah,
gone.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically, that is the another pressure for the woman. How exactly the woman should handle that piece? Are you like able to help this for this piece also? You are able to help through your community.
So we are actually growing with the community, right? And all the babies of the community are about 1.5. So we haven't got to this point where a mom has resumed work. There is a statistic that kind of says that 1/4 of women who resume work after maternity leave, like actually not 1/4, it's about 40%, 40 to 48% of women who resume work after maternity leave, they quit within 4 months of resuming, right? So it's not just necessarily at the 2 year mark. It's, let's say, at about the 1.5 year mark, right? You've gone in 4 months, you've tried and not happening, and you just kind of move on, right? Now, the thing is that at that point, again, your mindset, the way you're setting goals for yourself, all of that becomes super important. You have to set goals holistically. Holistically means that you have to take into account what you have put in, the kind of effort you have put in at work. You have to take into account if you can find a support system that can help you with the baby. You have to take into account if you have a support system at work, right? So all of these things become very important. And honestly, it becomes a little bit of adjustment, a little bit of communication all around, and a little bit of your own mindset, right? I think what we notice is that when people, then once they drop out at that 4 month mark, let's say they've gone back to maternity and then they drop off, then after that, 5 years later, they kind of say that, okay, now I want to do something. And by which time then the options are very, very limited. So what we try and tell them again, even at that stage, even at a later stage, is that see if you can do what you're currently doing more flexibly, right? There are a lot of roles that actually lend themselves to flexible work. There are a lot of roles that lend themselves to, working from home. There are a lot of roles that generally lend themselves to being done in a slightly different shape and form, right? And we encourage moms to actually explore options like that. And a lot of it is just, what we notice is that a lot of it is mindset, right? It's just that feeling of, okay, I can do this. Um, and I don't have to do it. I don't have to say I will quit unless, really nothing else is working out. So that's how we encourage moms to explore all other possible options before saying, okay, nahi ho raha hai mujhse.
Yep, that
And
sounds.
at the same time, sorry, another part of how we assist in that journey, right, is because cover a lot of we cover a lot of milestone related information for the mother and for the baby. So let's say a mother is, at that mark where she's just like, I, and we get this a lot. I'm just sharing like real examples of what we get, that, I've started work and now I don't know how to, let's say, continue breastfeeding, or I've started work and I need to lose weight and I'm really nervous. Should I push my joining date back by 3 months, right? Or I'm not feeling good. I'm feeling very upset and I feel like I might be undergoing a depression and I don't know how to communicate, right? So all of these wellness related things, when we address, we are also taking a few of those pain points out of that journey to going back to work, and that helps.
In whole of your conversation, I am just understanding one piece. If the woman is confident and her mindset is very positive, ki okay, this is something what I have to do, and then I have to resume back on this piece, then things will
Yeah,
go smooth. Otherwise, she will be always in the dilemma what need to be next. And I
yeah,
believe the community creating community for this where we can discuss about it. It can be a great help for the woman where she will be also getting the views from the other women, and obviously she can share her views that which pressure she is feeling right now so that it can be
yeah,
taken up. So that's a
yeah.
really good initiative And I'm really happy to hear this piece that how you are handling these things in your community right now. So that's great.
So,
That's over to you.
uh, I think a part of she is being a great advocate of this complete, this process and everything. She has been a fabulous entrepreneur as well because I've been working with her so far, and I know for a reason that she is a very headstrong, and if she decided to do something, she'd do it. But just like she mentioned how she started this journey, uh, I wanted to know, like, because I think you must have faced a lot of challenges. Even at that point of time, you don't even have Nirvi to help you in this process. So how did you, went through this journey? How did you tackle? So any of the experience that you can share that, okay, so like for example, I went through this journey, and then like here is what where I felt like Nirvi would have been very helpful for me in this particular part of my journey or something like that. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. So I think Weber for me really the turning point in my career was when I had just conceived my second baby, and I had to say no to a promotion. Uh, and I think for me, because it was so many years of work to get to that point, and it was a double promotion, so it was so many years of work to get to that point. And I really do feel that if I had a platform like Nirvi to actually educate me and talk me through, and provide that supportive community, because it was a high risk pregnancy. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know, should I be doing yoga? Should I not be doing yoga? Should I be eating this? Should I not be eating that? And, honestly, while gynacs in India are still very, very approachable, you can go through times where you just don't know who to ask, right? And you don't know if it is a credible source. And every time you Google something, it's just scary. I think having a platform like Nirvi at that point in time would have been absolutely phenomenal for me. But again, if that had happened, maybe Nirvi wouldn't be here. So yeah, I think that is one point in my journey which I really look back on and consider the starting point.
yeah, sounds good. So I think I have following question to this, like whatever we have discussed so far, and if there is a new couple and maybe they are in a process of maybe they're trying to conceive or anything right now. So what is the good time? What is the like when should they look for Nirvi? Like what is the right point that they should be thinking about? Hey, if Nirvi can be helpful to me, because I think Prachi also have this similar question because I think she did her research and we were just discussing about this, and she mentioned me that there are four or five different stages that is being mentioned on the website. So what are those? So I think what I'm asking and what she was, we were discussing is something relevant, I guess. So if you can just, highlight on that part.
Yeah, yeah. So I think you can approach Nirvi as soon as you decide as a couple that you want to conceive, right? Because we start our nutritional coaching, our prenatal, our kind of fertility yoga, etc. right then. Okay. And all of these are useful tools not just to balance your physical health, but also your emotional health. Because let's understand that, people are having babies later and later, particularly in metro cities. It's very unlikely that you'll have your first baby before 31 or 32 years of age. You will likely have work pressure for both partners, right? There's work pressure, there's managing a home, etc. Even if you live in a joint family with family support, वो तो added ही pressure होता है इंडिया में, I think from the minute that you decide, we're there, like Nirvi partners from that very day. We do a lot of emotional wellness coaching as well, just so the couple is on the same page, in terms of understanding what is involved. And then, of course, right, all the way to about 1.5 to 2 years postpartum, right? So, any need that emerges in terms of physical, mental, emotional wellness, we do a lot of partner journeys in the pregnancy period also, right? Where we do educate and we do these couple Garb Sanskar, or we do these couple lactation education sessions where both partners are equally involved. And the idea is to get the partner also to understand to be an equal partner in the way possible, right? So from the day that a couple decides that, okay, we want to plan our family, is the right point at which they can approach Nirvi.
Yeah. And any like if like this is the starting part, but I think what I'm assuming and know so far is that they can connect any point of time throughout this 2 years of journey, right? In
Absolutely.
perspective of whether baby is there or not, and any issue relevant to any issue.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, in fact, we get we get couples on board who are trying to conceive, and they cover their nutritional and fertility yoga journey with us, and then they move into the prenatal journey, which is essentially, as a couple, when they are expecting, when they are pregnant, then they continue their journey, and then they deliver, and then they continue their journey. So in that 3 year period, approximately, at whatever point they are, we kind of take care of it.
So you generally handle with the online centers on like online mode
Yeah,
only.
we are completely virtual. We are completely virtual, but we are building out network of gynac partners.
That's great. That's
Yep. Uh, Jumping back to more on entrepreneur side, marketing side, and a side that maybe you are now into, and maybe you are just heading like towards a very successful startup ahead. So because I think our audience is all about marketing people, or a decent amount of people look from the marketing and entrepreneurship interest. So what are the lessons I would say throughout your journey so far, or any kind of networks you have connected with, or something that has been a very successful for you, like any sort of campaign, any even a mindset or anything that you think would have been a very made a significant impact.
So the first is, of course, D2C communities are very helpful. When you join a D2C community, you will generally get, you'll get insights on a lot of things, whether it is if you want to build out technology, if you want to build out distribution network. It's just a nice place to go and ask a question and be sure that someone is in the same boat as you. So whatever local D2C networks someone can join, it's always beneficial to join those as a founder. Join it with no expectation, but just join it for information, awareness, knowledge, right? I have not, I still believe I can attend more networking events, but networking events are actually fantastic, and there are a lot of now D2C communities that also hold events offline. I haven't gone to, like I said, I haven't gone to enough of those, but I really enjoy those because it also gives you an idea of what everyone else is building around you, right? Because I mean, the fact is, nobody now has a new idea. It's very rare to find a completely new idea. It's always new in its execution. So, connecting with other founders, whatever stage they're at, understanding what they are doing, how they're thinking about it, can be very beneficial. The third is liking what you are building. It's very important, right? If you don't like, and if your idea has evolved and you've listened to 30 other people and you're not liking or enjoying the direction the product is going in, then it's always good to take a step back, because at the end of the day, let's remember that the first 3 to 4 years of entrepreneurship are a lot of work with very little reward. Um, Unless you're VC funded, you're likely not taking a salary, right? And even then, when you're taking a salary, it's always up for negotiation and conversation. So it's very important to like what you're building. It's very important to like what you're doing, and be prepared for the fact that some days are super rushed, some days are super slow because you're waiting for things to fall in place. So there is a lot of unpredictability in the days, and being prepared for that is very helpful from a mindset perspective.
So have you ever thought like you will be collaborating with the communities which are already existing in a good format? Like one of the example I've given as Unimo. So have you ever thought about collaborating? And because future is all about collaboration, as you have mentioned also,
Yeah.
that it's very rare nowadays that somebody is coming up with very new idea. It's almost the new like it's they are coming up with the new idea, but it is more like a they are just trying to change in the different way, right? So have you thought of collaboration, that if you collaborate, your Nirvi for Women can grow in much better and much faster pace?
Yeah, so we have actually started doing a fair number of collaborations. So we are, for instance, now collaborating with another not really community, but it's essentially a freelancing platform for women called FlexiBee. We do collaborate with a lot of physical product companies, where the needs being met are quite similar, but we are plugging in from a services point of view. We're definitely open to collaborating with other mom communities as well. I think the only thing that sets us apart is the fact that we believe and we are more expert to peer, when it comes to advice and guidance, etc. So we definitely look out for a lot of like-minded communities, right? Where the ethos, where the what they want to do and how they want to grow is similar and in line with what we're looking to do at Nirvi. But yes, collaboration is the way forward.
I was just thinking on our conversation. Meanwhile, you were just answering this question, and I think something just struck at me is that Prachi was mentioning about a phase in, going into job, and then that phase. But I know for sure that I think Nirvi has its own program where it supports women to get started, like get back on track in terms of career, and that is in form of maybe an affiliate program. So, would you like to talk about it a bit, that because I think it's no better to let it is always best to work for organization who is guiding you and who is mentoring other organizations on how to help women. And if you're working for that organization directly, that I think they already know what are your pain points are, and they are totally there for your support, right? So, like, can you just highlight that and tell us about how should someone join that?
Yeah. So, we were very fortunate because we started developing a lot of mom advocates on our community where, another mother would step in and say that, I've benefited a lot. So I want to kind of come back and help you guys and, maybe either take up any sort of questions or just guide people on a particular topic, etc. And it started really from there, the thought that, okay, we can have mom advocates who are really, really strong within the community. And then we started off by thinking, how can we compensate these mom advocates? So this affiliate program we started, where essentially anything, it's a little bit different from influencer marketing because number one, we ensure that the mom who is recommending us as an affiliate has actually used the product or the service behind it, right? The second is it's coming from a lot of personal experience. We notice we only invite moms who have had positive experiences in and really know what that program can do for them. We only invite those to kind of participate in the affiliate program. Once they participate in the affiliate program, they have the opportunity of actually, earning from their recommendations. It's a very tightly controlled process at this point in time because we have very few affiliates that we approve. We approve them based on A, have they actually done the program and benefited from it? And B, is it authentic, right? If someone is like, if someone's just saying that, oh no, I followed only point A and B and then I didn't follow the 10 others, but I'm still going to recommend it, we'll just be like, okay, it's not authentic because you haven't experienced the whole thing. You will not be able to explain it to someone else. So it's a good way for moms to just on the community who have experienced the programs and benefited from it to for us to also kind of give back in a way. We do plan on expanding the affiliate program shortly, where a mom that's facing a pause and is just wondering that I don't want to maybe. It's very difficult for a mother who has worked to go back and A, dip into her savings or B, ask her spouse or her partner. So we just allow that little space in the affiliate program for them to be compensated in a very small way so that they feel a little bit more empowered. And hopefully, with time, it will become big enough to actually support them without having to do anything else outside of the affiliate program.
So, what is the next plan for Nirvi? Like, is there any new program what you are going to launch in Nirvi itself, or what is the next plan?
So we are always looking at program development, Prachi. We are always looking at newer and newer needs that we can resolve, right?
Mhm.
And we just we take a lot of insights also from our community in terms of what we can solve for them. So we are, I would say, every 3 to 4 months we go back to the drawing board and we think that okay, now this is what we can do, and here's how we can package and deliver it. So, for instance, we've now added, like, let's say, dedicated fertility yoga badges, right? Earlier, it was very individualized that, okay, if someone wants to come in and take it, then we'll offer it to them. But now they are very dedicated in terms of a service that you can avail. Uh, Again, with the coming back to work, the affiliate program is a kind of product in itself, right? Where if you've experienced it, you can earn from it. So program development is something that we keep doing just from our building out the product horizontally and vertically perspective. The second thing is collaborations, like you yourself said. We are looking at collaborating anywhere we might find our target audience, our mom or mom to be. Whether it's other medical professionals, whether it's corporates, whether it's other online communities. So that collaboration is definitely a very, very big part of how we plan to grow Nirvi over the next few months, few quarters actually. And the third is, we just want to make sure that we stay when sometimes when you grow very quickly, you're not able to perhaps stay loyal or maintain quality or maintain that personal touch. So for us, ensuring that every mom continues to feel that she has a safe space with Nirvi is crucial to no matter how much we grow. So that will continue to remain a priority. Because that's who we are, and that's why moms to be come to us. So yeah, program development, collaborations, continuing to foster this beautiful community are some of the things that we will be focusing on for the next couple of quarters.
And I believe that's a need of our. And before we started this podcast, Vaibhav was mentioning also, I believe in Nirvi, your sister is also involved, right? She is also the founding
Yes,
team.
yes. She's part of the founding team. So she is. It's just something she said one day that okay, I want to get involved in. She handles some of our content and offline community building. She's also a very active participant in the program development because she is a qualified movement specialist. She's a yoga teacher trainer. She's kind of healed her, particular condition that occurs after pregnancy and delivery. Uh, she works very closely with our team of physiotherapists and yoga therapists to curate some of our fitness programs. So yes.
That's great.
I was just going through a website once again, and I noticed there is something changed which was not earlier, and that struck me very well because someone like me who don't understand a lot about this process, I'm talking specifically about the male, target here, like
Yeah.
the male audience who is maybe
Yeah.
visiting your website, and there
Yeah.
are a lot of programs out there, right, on your front end,
Yeah.
like on your
Yeah.
website basically. But then I don't know how somehow I landed on a page that's called Nirvi One, and I think it just simplified everything with just one simple subscription. And I think that is something a lot of people, maybe partners, or maybe someone who want to gift it to someone, like maybe someone's sister, they want to gift them, or maybe so like I have few friends I want to give them, because I think this is a great product, like and a lot of people don't know about it. So can you help us about like understanding about what is Nirvi One, and then is it different to what you do on the like different workshop consultation, or is it the same but like what it look likes in general?
So Nirvi One is just capturing that, 15-month journey, right? We package it as a 12-month program, but it can extend to 15 months, where let's say, 9 months, usually most women kind of decide to start doing stuff around their health and wellness in after 3 months of pregnancy. So 6 months of pregnancy to 6 months of postpartum journey is completely covered in Nirvi One, right? Where all the modules, all the individual modules that you do, whether it is introduction to lactation, whether it is your own health and fitness, whether it is hormonal health, are all covered. And they are supplemented by your individual consultations and the respective support communities for that particular issue, right? So let's say a mom is having, she joins that at maybe 3 months of pregnancy. We would cover all her nutritional wellness, mental wellness, yoga, etc. All of those needs right up to the time that she delivers, and then for the next 6 months postpartum. So it really simplifies wellness needs in that 12-month journey. We also have on-demand consultations in that. So let's say someone's having skin issues, which is one of the things that emerges postpartum. Someone needs a pediatric nutritionist. So these are all on-demand consultations that we are able to provide and plug in. It saves a mom or a mom to be a lot of time. It saves the partner a lot of time because we've taken the research out of it. We maintain a high quality product there because we do a lot of auditing. We ensure that the experts providing the services are audited regularly. We take a lot of feedback. But yes, it is for precisely that. It's just to take the headache out of that 12-month journey.
So Nirvi One sounds like a very interesting product, and but I just wanted to know that because I think you have different stages on your website, right? So is Nirvi One associated with any particular stage, or is it like you can buy it at any stage, and like can people gift it? Like how does that work? Like and also when I was talking, like when you were talking about affiliate program, I feel it's more like an investment that you make in yourself, and then eventually you can take it back through the affiliate program as well. So, like this couple of thoughts.
So, Nirvi one is ideal at about 3 months pregnant, and you can definitely gift it. You can give it to anyone. You can buy it for yourself. Your partner can buy it for you because it's a very, very, very nominally priced subscription to, like I mentioned, take the headache out, right? You have chat, you have on-demand questions, and honestly, when you live in a large city, right, like a Hyderabad, Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, NCR, Noida, Gurgaon. All of these places, your regular doctors might be very difficult to catch hold of, right? And therefore, Nirvivan takes the headache out of that journey completely. So we do recommend at about 3 months after you have conceived. So let's say at about 3 months of pregnancy, going all the way up to about 9 months postpartum is where it will probably as a subscription product add the most value. However, at any point in pregnancy or at any point postpartum, it can be purchased and it is then customized. But in the shape and form that it exists currently, about 3 months pregnant to 9 months postpartum. Your second question was around affiliate. Can you
Yeah,
help
yeah.
me
I
with that?
was just asking that. So it was not a question, but it was more like a thought that. So when I was thinking about it, like for example, if I'm buying a Nirvi, like let's take example of Nirvi one, right? And I'm
Yeah,
investing some amount into that, and then I'm going through a program, and as you mentioned, you specifically choose affiliate based on who has completed the entire program, who has taken
yeah,
consultations.
yeah.
And what I was thinking is, isn't it more like an investment that you can just get back when you start working as affiliate for Nirvi? Uh, because you can start your career as soon as maybe you are just postpartum within the next a month and 1.5 month. So is what I'm assuming.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we have very, very generous affiliate terms. Unlike other platforms, our affiliate terms are very generous, and we do notice. So, for instance, part of that Nirvi One journey is just the postpartum fitness journey, right? Which is like a 3 to 6 month curated program for postpartum moms' overall wellness. And we find that there are so many moms who've completed that and who've recommended it, and they're able to monetize that in a way, right? So definitely, I mean, over literally a 3 to 4 month period, you can actually recover that investment because the affiliate terms are so generous as of now.
Mhm. Sounds good. I
Sam, I
think
would like to know one thing. Like one of the biggest problem you have been facing with the women when they join Elite. Is there any one
Yeah.
specific problem which you might have been hearing a lot?
I think just feeling lonely and a lack of support. So, they'll generally join. The symptom will look like, okay, I'm having trouble with breastfeeding, I'm having trouble with weight, uh, having trouble with my own fitness, I'm tired, I have no stamina, I have hair fall, right? But eventually, what it all boils down to is the fact that they're able to feel a lot better because we're able to address all their concerns in a very non judgmental manner. They're able to connect with other moms, they're able to connect and share what they're going through. And, as all our programs are very heavily focused on improving their mental health. So I would say the underlying piece of it is just that feeling of I'm not alone in this. And that is the main problem that we're solving for.
That's the reason I'm really happy that now the phrase has been changed that we are pregnant, not the woman is pregnant. So that's a good phrase, and that's how like I believe the women are feeling a bit more supportive.
Yes.
So
And Sam, do you see any changes going further now? Like I think we were just discussing that scenario past like before 20 years and now that it's slightly changing. So, what is the positive side that is coming also with the programs like Nirvi offer? And, in general sense, I'm asking that, do you see a positive side? Because you just mentioned companies are like become more friendly towards this kind of approach. Any idea? I was just reading your Zomato, something you mentioned in your yesterday's LinkedIn post or something. So, can you just give us more idea on that? Like, are things improving on this space right now?
Definitely, Vaibhav, and companies are becoming a lot more. So organizations like Zomato, organizations like Godrej, organizations like Accenture, um, have some absolutely fantastic parental leave policies, right? Which don't extend just to the mother, but also to the father, should he choose to take that. Which, in a sense, actually becomes a lot more about, you know, actually sharing the load. We keep saying sharing the load, but how is a person supposed to share the load if they don't have leave, right?
Yeah.
So these are very practical things that are coming up, which actually, help people practice what they are preaching, right? Of course, all roles, all business lines may not support it, but the fact that it's there is a huge step, right? So that's a huge positive. The second is the conversation around mental health is becoming, in this phase in particular, is becoming a lot more open, right? People are a lot more accepting of the fact that a mother might have postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety. They're a lot more accepting of the fact that in the pregnancy journey, she might be feeling isolated, she might be feeling, not good. And those are all very, very positive changes that we have seen even in the last 1.5 years since we started with just content, right, at Nirvi.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I have one more question for you. I can totally understand the woman has been going with the depression, anxiety, different phases. But how about the men? Because they are equally involved in the process. They are seeing the woman in this phase, and a woman who is going through this anxiety issues and all, it might be heavily impacting the men also. So
Yeah.
how that particular phase, how Nirvi is able to help? I totally understand you are doing more on the women empowerment or women wellness, but how about the men?
Very valid question again, Prachi. Now, the thing is that, traditionally in India, most men, not just in India, but all over the world, men don't speak about mental health a lot, right? It's a major, major concern. They will, they're just taught to suppress, subdue, etc. Again, that is something that is changing a lot. Okay, where a lot of people are now kind of becoming aware that, okay, this also matters, this is something I should address. We do want to start addressing it more actively. We don't as of now, but postpartum depression in dads is also real, right? Postpartum anxiety in dads is also real. So there's definitely space for us to address it, and we will be doing something in that direction soon.
I'm really looking forward to it. Like, I would like to see the space, the men's space also in Nirvi for Women.
Yeah,
So, I guess that will be really helpful for the males also because they really don't
yeah,
speak up. And also, there
yeah,
is no such platform which is coming to my mind. Ki, okay, this is the platform for male where they can go and share this thing. So,
yeah.
yeah, looking forward to see it.
Okay. So I think let's move towards this rapid fire round, which is like Prachi would be taking through a few quick words, and you can just share whatever comes to your mind. Uh, yeah, Prachi, over to you.
Let's start then. So, first one, motherhood.
Turbulent.
Okay. Okay. Uh, women empowerment.
I would like to see it as equal opportunity than empowerment. So when you say women's empowerment, I think equal opportunity.
Mom to be.
Usually excited,
Nirvi.
baby, my baby.
That's the love. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I have this four words. You have anything, Vaibhav?
Yeah. So I have this. So I think let you you address the word that is more into uh, purpose side of it, or the word that is more a concept side of it. Let me just dive into sort of more like entrepreneur marketing side of it. Profit.
Important,
Yeah, that is very important. Success.
relative,
Okay. Uh, ROI.
very important,
Yeah.
very, very important, and often overlooked actually.
Yeah. And customer success.
There's no product without customer success.
Yeah, I think all of them are very well answered. So, Sam, this is all what we have to discuss today. I think we got a lot of information from you now, and I think whoever is going to watch this podcast now will definitely check out your website at least for once, irrespective of male or female. If they have, whether they are even in that stage right now or not, but just to
Yeah.
educate themselves about what is this all about, because this is very new. Like someone like me and what age I am into right now, and I think I believe that Prachi would be also very relating to this, that this is very new to us, and we don't talk about it at all. Like no one talks it in general life, or along with, even not with the friends. So this is
Yeah.
very new and refreshing. I think a lot of people will be taking a lot of insights out of this. And if someone wants to get in touch with you, for example, you as a founder, firstly, and then as a team, like as a Nirvi, like if they want the support, if they want to know more about Nirvi, if they want to, what they can do and how they can do. Irrespective, I will put all the links in the description. You can find website link, you can find Nirvi one product link, and all the workshop links as well. But a part of that, how can they approach you?
As a founder, LinkedIn is best. I go by Samanta Bahl on LinkedIn. And just to understand more about Nirvi, more about the product, Instagram DMs, as well as even LinkedIn for that matter. And of course, we have a WhatsApp contact button on our website. Either of those channels work.
Yeah, that sounds great. So guys, that's a wrap up. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, learn a lot of more about it. Please bear with us. We are still learning how to create good and amazing podcasts. So we are not pro it at yet, but I hope we will be getting there soon. Thank you so much, Samantha, for taking this time out for us and joining us today. I hope you had equal fun along with us.
I absolutely did. Thank you so much for taking this initiative and having, just talking to founders. I think sometimes founders also get really lonely. So it's nice for
Yeah,
them the space to be heard.
absolutely.
All
Thank you
right.
so much, Sam. Thank you. It
Thank
was
Thank
pleasure
you.
talking to you and pleasure to know your ideas and your views on this. So really happy to
like,
have this conversation today.
thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.